And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we are talking about skills versus college degree. I remember putting out a post a few months ago where I asked my subscribers, or the people who see my channel, if formal education is part of their process or journey towards, their dreams and goals. And to my astonishment, there was still 40% of the people, who are still having formal education as part of their journey towards success. That is atrocious, Let's get that percentage down ASAP, and that's what this video is for. Now, let's just check that this video is functioning. It seems like it is. Let me know if it isn't, and maybe I'll notice. But what should you do instead? Why is college degree such a bad thing? There was a question, or the business magnets. It's someone on Instagram. They promoted a post and they said, let me read it to you guys. College degrees aren't needed to make great money. Skills are. And I said, absolutely. College is a massive detour that stops you and strips you of the opportunity to practice your skill thousands upon thousands of hours. So you got to think of the cost. What is it called? The opportunity cost. I learned that in college. The opportunity cost of going to college instead of focusing on getting rich. Because going to college, you're not going to be developing much skills other than reading books and listening to a boring professor for a long period of time without falling asleep. While developing a skill that you want to bring as a solution to the world, that's a completely different mindset. And you need the hours implemented without giving up in order for you to develop a skill exponentially over time. So you spending time in college massively is taking you on a detour around and maybe never ever getting to real success. And when I talk about real success, it's not only about money, but oh my gosh, if you actually become a multimillionaire from scratch, you will develop so many different qualities and aspects of yourself that you are going to love. Like, for example, people skills, grit, masculinity, being fired up outside your brain at any given time, all of the time, never giving up, etc., etc. I just mentioned a bunch of skills right there that you get as a result of being an entrepreneur, thinking big about your life. So having said that, I want to explore the skill developing mindset, with the aspect of my 5 leadership phases. The 5 phases of leadership, I've mentioned it before on my channel. It's a flippin' awesome channel. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. The 5 phases of leadership are: number 1, allow yourself to be led. Crucial. Number 2, lead yourself. Number 3, lead others. Number 4 and 5 are not important in your life right now. You can only think about 3 things at a time anyway, so forget about 4 and 5, but I'll mention it so that you know. Number 4 is lead women. Number 5, lead kids. Not the time yet. Gone. Not important as of now. 3, allow yourself to be led, lead yourself, and lead others. Leading others comes as a natural result of you doing the first 2 consistently over a long period of time. So you can even forget about step 3. Awesome. So now that we know that there's only 2 things they need to focus on in terms of developing skills for the marketplace that they're willing to pay you for, what do you do? Well, number 1, you need accountability. It begins and ends, or it begins and succeeds with accountability. The biggest reason why people do not succeed in life is because they're not accountable to anyone else but themselves. and they're not holding themselves very accountable to themselves. Do you have someone that is holding you accountable on a daily, continual basis? Because if you don't, you're not going to be developing a lot of skills. You might be dabbling in things here and there, but you're not going to become a world-class master at anything. Every single master in any endeavor, trust me, they had coaches and they had massive accountability. Allowing yourself to be led means that you have accountability. Do you have accountability in your life right now? And if not, get some, okay? You have a coach right here. I am up for hire. I've got a couple of spots left for mentees, okay? Guys that I can coach on a continuous basis to help them to get to their dreams and goals. But if I'm not an expert at your field, I can help you anyway, okay? But in other areas, like mindset, attitude, etc., etc. But that's not enough, okay? My client, Luisa, who's been with me for 2 years, he needed a TikTok coach, okay? I can't help him with TikTok. I can help him with consistency and attitude and getting, his mentality right and his consistency right and holding him accountable. But he needed someone who was specifically in terms of TikTok. In January, February or something, he started his TikTok account, okay? He today has 220 plus thousand followers on TikTok. Why? How? Because he got a mentor and a coach who knew what he was doing and who taught them the ins and outs that needed to be done so that Luisa could blow up on TikTok. That's just giving you an example. You need a coach. You need someone to hold you accountable. You need to allow yourself to be led. It's the only feminine step out of the 5 phases of leadership, but it must be taken. Very often, guys are so feminine that they don't want to do step number 1 because their brains are like warped because they're so feminine in so many different aspects of life. They're trying to make up for it with masculinity in other aspects of life. And one of them is like, no, I'm going to do everything myself, which is ridiculous. That's not masculine at all if you think from a big perspective, the longer time perspective. Why would a masculine man be flippin' wasting his time when he can actually progress very, very quickly? You get what I'm saying? Let me double check again with the... Awesome. The sound is working. Okay, so you understand that aspect. And what is allow yourself to be led is the willingness to learn. The only 2 things you need to succeed in life is the willingness to learn and the willingness to work, which leads us to number 2, or phase number 2, which is leading yourself. Your coach will not be with you 24/7. If he does, man, he's a flippin' cool coach, okay? I'm kind of there 16 out of 24 hours a day. If you text me at any given time, I got my phone ready. I'll text you back, okay? Anytime when I'm your coach. And, my clients know that. It's very, very rarely that I'm not able to talk to them or communicate with them when they text me. But having said that, there is no one out there who can be with you 24/7. Even Luisa is like, when I'm asleep, he's got to figure things out on his own, which he does easily. But you get what I'm saying? You need to come to the point where you manage to lead yourself. This is what most entrepreneurs struggle with, hardcore, which makes them end up never building a business because they skipped step number 1, accountability. They move immediately into the entrepreneur stage if they really want to become rich, and they've understood that I won't be able to do that through having jobs, so I need to start my own business. So they skip allowing themselves to be led, and they go in directly into leading themselves. What ends up happening as a result is that there's no accountability, there's no work being done, and if they do the work, it's very less effective, and it's not going anywhere very quickly, which causes them to lose hope and then causes them to quit. And then as a result, they actually go back to having one job, and then they find other hobbies to make them feel fulfilled in some way, shape, or form. Okay? I had a friend a while back who started a business a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. He was going to start an Amazon business or something. And he was fired up outside his brain. And no accountability. Guess what happened? He had a job, and he was going to start his Amazon and move forward massively. He didn't do that. He quit. But he's still kind of excited about it and kind of wants to do it eventually. This is what entrepreneurs do, who are not entrepreneurs, who end up never becoming entrepreneurs, but they started their business, but they never ended up doing anything. What is he doing instead? Now he wants to become a mixed martial artist, right? Which is great. It's awesome, and he can actually make it on the world stage, especially if he uses me as a coach. Oh my God. But you had the opportunity of becoming rich. And if you're rich, you can hire the best MMA coaches in the world, which will allow you to become the world champion. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're never going to get there without the right people to surround you. Personal development is not a solo sport. It's a team sport. You need other people around you to support you. And the most important thing that you can do is to get rich. Because then you can hire people. Because people are now willing to work for zero, right? They won't work because they see the potential in you. And if they do that, they're probably not very good, okay? People work for cash. So if you got a lot of cash, you can actually hire people, which super speeds you in the direction of your dreams. This is the reason why you need to understand the process and follow the phases one by one. Don't skip phase number 1. And this is why I teach you guys to actually get 3 jobs in the beginning so that you don't fail at phase number 2. You need accountability first so that you get into the mindset of how an 80-hour work week looks like. So you get into the mindset of what not giving up looks like. So you get into the mindset of going to work no matter what, rain or shine, no matter if you're sick or you're healthy or whatever is going on in your life, you still show up, right? If you manage to learn and to do that consistently over a long period of time, and then you begin to create something on the side that hopefully over time will replace these jobs, you're on the right track. That's the skill set that you need to develop that you're not learning in college. In college, willingness to learn. Okay, I can see that you're willing to learn and that's why you're going to college. Except for the fact that the stuff that you learn is not relevant to anything very often. Elon Musk doesn't even care if he's going to hire someone. He doesn't care if they have a university degree. He probably cares if they're rocket scientists or engineers or whatever, right? But in terms of other aspects of his business, he doesn't give a rat's ass, okay? Whether you have a college degree or not. Doesn't that tell you something? Same with Google, same with Facebook, same with a lot of other huge companies. We got it. In the past, yes, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, it was probably good to, get a college degree. But really though, imagine those guys if they had actually started with this mindset that I'm teaching you guys today. 20 years ago. They would have become billionaires by now. How can you not if you're building up conglomerates and they're massively printing billions of dollars, trillions of dollars all the time. Okay. So willingness to learn, you're learning stuff that's irrelevant to your future if you want to get rich. And then number 2, the leading yourself, okay? Do you get some leading yourself expertise from college? You don't need much, okay? Like going to class, okay, good on you if you go to class, but very often it's less effective time, right? And you're not really leading yourself when you're sitting there. You just showed up and it wasn't that difficult. Okay, you can say that about jobs as well, but you're never 80 hours in a classroom a week, okay? So it doesn't work like that. And studying, it doesn't take 80 hours a work week to actually get straight A's. You can do it with 2 hours a day of studying. It's ridiculous how simple college degrees are, really. Okay? Over time it gets more difficult, right? But at the same time, it's if you had done 2 hours every single day for the entire duration of your entire college degree, you get straight A's. You whoop-de-doo. Who cares? You're still gonna struggle getting a job that's relevant to your studies. So it's not very smart to go to school. Let's put it that way. Okay, so having said that, we're thinking big, we're thinking huge, we're thinking conglomerates, we're thinking entrepreneurship, we're thinking multi-millions of dollars. As an entrepreneur, don't go to school, get 3 jobs. Okay, 3 jobs working for other people. Not start your entrepreneurship immediately, unless you've already started. But even if you have already started, I recommend you get those 2 other jobs at least. Maybe even the 3rd job. To get the right mindset. And I've made tons of videos on that. But I want to explain just very quickly what skills. What are some alternative skills that you can do? I want you to think with your masculine mind. Okay, not your feminine mind. If you're thinking femininely, you'll be thinking stuff like, I want to become a musician, or I want to become an actor, or I want to become a bodybuilder, or I want to become a whatever else that's out there that has a lot of competition. Only like 0.1% of the people make all of the money, and the rest of the people are like struggling. Okay? Don't be that guy. If you are an amazing musician, if you are an amazing artist or athlete, then go for it. Go and get that $1 million ASAP. If you actually are on your way and you're already succeeding. But I would highly recommend, if you haven't started that path, don't start. And rather think from a masculine perspective of solving world problems instead. As an example, will entertainment solve world problems? No. Okay? So, is that very masculine then? No, not really. Is it a bad thing to do it? No, not necessarily. If you become huge in terms of entertainment, like for example, Luisa, he's somewhat of an entertainer. He's on social media, right? And he's helping people laugh and memes and all that cool stuff. Once he gets a massive, large following, okay, you better believe that he can actually plug in masculine things into that following. Okay, like courses, like education, like helping people to do this, that, and the other. Being a coach for people who want to develop their social media or doing social media for other companies or whatever it is. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's doing entertainment, but it's with the bigger mind in a bigger goal in mind. And I have multiple clients that have the same type of thing going on. But I want you to tap into your masculine mindset of thinking huge, but also thinking smart and rational about your competition. The smart thing is to go into a space that pays a lot of money, but most people are not willing to do it. Because it's maybe difficult or arduous. It's not like hard like it is to be a musician, okay? Like that's hard, okay? Competing, trying to get your music out, oh my gosh. Like good luck, man. You'll need a team for that. But if you from a masculine standpoint, what are some things I can share with you guys? If you start a business that has a product or a service that you know the market needs, that you know the market is willing to pay you well for, that you know 1 million people would gladly pay you and they're looking for a solution, and you can provide that best solution, that would be a masculine thing. Okay? Because there are tons of problems in the world today. Okay? So many. Another one that I would recommend is becoming a blockchain developer. Okay? Someone already commented saying, Brandon said, blockchain development, yeah, 80 hours a week. Yeah, man. Awesome. Okay? That's the kind of mindset that I want you to have. Why blockchain? Because this is basically internet 25 years ago. So in the next 5 to 10 to 15 years, we're going to have billionaires. We already have some, but billionaires in the blockchain space. Ethereum developers, coders, Cardano developers, etc., etc. This is replacing the banking and insurance and accounting industry. Okay? Could you imagine a world where there's very few banks, or maybe even the traditional banks are gone? Okay? because we've replaced it with decentralized solutions, or centralized solutions that are mixed with decentralized solutions that are better and quicker and understand blockchain in a way that traditional banks have forgotten or not invested in to figure out. Because they were like, oh, Bitcoin and Ethereum, what is this stuff? You see them beginning to dabbling in it right now, carefully. And guess what? All of these people, all of these banks, all of these businesses are looking for flippin' developers because there's such a massive shortage. Okay? You see, musician, tons of supply. Okay? Very little demand. The only demand is for the people at the very, very, very top of the food chain when it comes to musicians. Okay? And then you've got blockchain developers. Massive demand. Okay? And extremely low supply. No one is becoming blockchain developers. It's freaking crazy. I've got a link in the description below. Joseph.ONTRACC. Sign up. Okay, I hope that I have the right link. And if it's not, make sure you DM me on Instagram at Men of High Value. I'll give you the right link. For you to become a blockchain developer. If you're like, I don't know what to start, blah, blah, blah. Become a blockchain developer, okay? If I did not have everything kind of figured out from a career perspective, I've got my YouTube channels and I love trading, okay? And I've began to actually focus and make money there as well. If it wasn't for those things, I would become a coder, hands down. But I'm more of a conglomerate type of thinking guy. And although coding would be flippin' awesome, man, I just wish I had capacity for that at this point in time. But for anyone else out there, if you haven't chosen what you're going to do with your life yet, oh my gosh. So, someone in the blockchain space, very up there, I think he was one of the co-founders of Coinbase or something like that, mentioned that, this was maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, that he did not know any good Ethereum developers who were not millionaires. Okay? Today, those guys are paid $15,000 to $20,000 to $25,000 per month to work remotely, as long as they speak perfect English and have learned sufficient development skills in blockchain. If you're from India, why haven't you jumped on this a long time ago? Okay? If you're from any poor country, do it. Like, save up all of your money to buy that flippin' Joseph.ONTRACC course. It will change your life if you never ever give up. It's difficult. It's hard. There's a reason why there's not many developers, okay? But if you don't give up within 6 to 12 to 18 months, bro, you'll have a career that's going to last you for the next 50 years, 40 years. Because you'll have money, and then with that money, you can learn trading. And with that, you can build massive businesses. You can become bigger than the richest people in the world today. Okay? So anyway, any other skills? Okay, carpenter, plumber, all those traditional trades, they're great, okay? But look at that as an exit strategy, like one of your jobs. If you have those skills already, fantastic. Then use them to make money and to, do the 80-hour work week to get yourself on track to replace those jobs eventually, okay? But plumbing and carpentry and doing different things that's like a skill should not be a skill that you rely on after the next 12 to 18 months. You should be gone and finished with doing those things in 12 to 18 months if you follow the system and the program that I teach on the Men of High Value channel. You should not be doing that for that long period of time. You need to focus where the money is, the real money, with entrepreneurship. Finding big, large-scale, duplicatable solutions that can be brought to millions of people and solve their problems. There's enough plumbers. There's enough carpenters. There's enough of everything. But there's so few entrepreneurs, man. So few business owners that have the leadership skills and the people skills and the not giving up skills to follow through and make things happen. You can do that if you follow this channel. Make sure you get that vibe through osmosis from me. Hire me as a coach if you need to, or just get going on the journey, man. Get the three jobs. Become a massive 80-hour work week guy, your life will change, man. I'm so fired up for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you got any questions, make sure you DM me at Men of High Value, and I'll see you guys in the next one.